Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates. It's me, Stormie Grace, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of July 15th. And this is a big week. That's why your horoscope is coming out a bit earlier than they normally would, because this is a really big, impactful week. And you guys know I don't spend a lot of time in the extravagance of transits, but this week I think is something we all really need to be prepared and be doing some soul searching about how we're going to handle and navigate and where we are each at as individuals with how we will navigate this week. So I'm going to talk all about that. And yes, straight up from the beginning, I'm going to tell you I'm talking about the Mars Uranus conjunction that's coming together, but I'm also talking about on Sunday, the full moon that's going to be happening, because this is really a week where the breakdown, I think, leads to the breakthrough. But it will be more helpful to use the astrology in your own chart to understand where the breakdown and the breakthrough are exactly pointing you to, instead of feeling like you have to research your entire life, okay? That's where astrology gets really good, because we can start to get a lot more specific. So that said, first and foremost, one of the things you're going to want to do is make sure that you have your own natal chart, okay? Now, if you don't have your own natal chart, please go to astro.com or Cafe Astrology. You can definitely find charts online for free if you need something to just reference. I really suggest it's better to come get your chart from me. That way you get a breakdown of it as well. And I'm not going to lie, I like my charts because I think they're very easy to read. But however you do it, please make sure that you have your own natal chart so you can really see where this story is unfolding for you. And if you're not sure how to see where the transit is happening for you, I've got a video that I'm going to put at the end of this video to help you find the active transit in your own chart so you can see it very specifically. And if you need further guidance from there, whether it's on this channel or on my website at stormiegrace.com, I've got a beautiful astrological encyclopedia so you can say, okay, the full moon's happening in my second house. What does that mean? You can just look it up and get a bit of an idea if you don't have that much astro vocabulary yet, okay? There are resources upon resources on this channel to help you really understand how this astrology is playing out for you in your chart. And that is what I want for you, okay? All right, beautiful friends, before we jump in, if we have not met before, I'm practicing professional astrologer Stormie Grace. I am thrilled to be here with you, and I practice astrology through the evolutionary and humanistic lens. And this is important for you to understand, because if you're looking for a different type of astrology, you're not going to find it here. So if this is the kind of astrology you're looking for, where we talk about the soul development, where you've come from, where you're at now, and also how you can really use it, then this is definitely the space for you. I would love for you to subscribe. For those of you who have been here and have been subscribed already, welcome back. You are treasured. For those of you who are new, click the subscribe button and jump in here with us. This is a good place to be, okay? All right, last thing before we jump in, beautiful friends, you can make sure you click in the description box down below. First of all, to access anything from readings with me, my packages are on sale until July 22nd. And I'm telling you, if you've not had someone walk with you through your astrology for a year and watch yourself change, watch your life change, you are missing out, because it's absolutely gorgeous. So you can get that in the description box down below, but also there are timestamps for every single day. So if you've got something going on Wednesday and you need to just see what the Wednesday weather is, you can click down there and take advantage of that 1000%, plus lots of other goodies that are going on, okay? All right, let's get in here. So first and foremost, on Monday, as we're coming in on Monday, a moon day. So setting the tone for the week with the moon in the vibration of Scorpio, okay? So as we're coming in, now the moon moved into Scorpio yesterday on Sunday. So as it's coming in on Monday, it's already in travel. It's not newly coming in. And that is something to note. So it's not like it's just brand new information. Okay. It's been in transit just a little bit. But as the moon is traveling in Scorpio, we're a bit deeper. We're a bit deeper into ourselves. This energy, this moon energy, is a little bit heavier. It's deeply connected. It's really very intimate. We're asking the questions about, what are my motives behind why I'm doing something? What drives me? Where Do I want to feel powerful, or where am I trying to hold on to something or manage something or convince myself of something because I'm getting power from it? It's making me feel like I'm powerful. So here's something to think about as this moon is traveling on Monday. First of all, where are you getting your power in life? When you're getting up in the morning and you're going through your day or things get stressful, where do you derive power from? For some people, they get it from a higher power, right? They're plugging into that source energy and getting connected. For some people, it can be resentment, right? I actually like being upset and angry and resentful and telling myself that that person is to blame because it's the fuel, the power that gets me out of bed in the morning. So I think that this next couple days is a great day to ask that question and allow yourself to have that, psychological, psychic, emotional detective work that only Scorpio can do. Allow it to present you with what your real motives and your real drives are here so that you can see if they're the best ones for you. Are you getting the most mileage out of that resentment? Are you traveling deeply with the higher power concept? What is it that is your power? And is it working for you? Because if not, Scorpio is also the energy where you find out this is trash, basura, okay? This is not good. I can't live off of this anymore, and I need something new. So we get this opportunity for rebirth. So we're already coming in on Monday in a fair amount of intensity, and that is something that we need to acknowledge. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. It is contemplative. But we have to savor the intensity that is already bringing us in Monday morning, okay? Now, before we get to that Mars and Uranus conjunction, we've got the sun in a square to Chiron. So the sun is bringing us light, heat, life, vitality, still traveling in this beautiful energy of the Cancerian territory. But squaring against Chiron that is in Aries, what we have here is a cardinal square. So cardinal energy are about the starts. I'm starting something. I'm beginning something. With Aries, I'm beginning something very physical. With Cancer, I'm beginning something very emotional. So there's a square happening. There is an action that needs to be taken because you're being squished between something physical and something emotional, and they are in tension. So today is a day where I would say to you, first of all, is there something bothering you emotionally? And it's presenting itself physically to you, right? Like it's bothering you emotionally. It's sitting on you. It's sitting on your heart. It's sitting in your space. And it's because physically you need to do something about it. A great question is, do you need to set something right with someone? Do you need to make that phone call? Do you need to actually take the action, pay those taxes? Do you need to go have that conversation, right? The other way to look at that is the other way around. Is there something going on with you physically, Aries, in your new identity, right? You're like, man, I'm a different person today. So I understand a situation differently emotionally, and I need to do something about that. Okay. I also think that it is a great day. My friend Tiffany talks about this, for really taking responsibility, not in a blame way and not in a martyrsome kind of way, but taking full responsibility for who you've been and who you are today, because it is the demonstration of evolutionary principles. It's that you're evolving, you're changing, you have really lived life as a human being. And maybe now you see yourself or you see the world or situations differently, and you get to take full responsibility for what that has looked like, right? But again, it's in a pretty healthy way we get to have this conversation. So I really think that this is an interesting day where you're motivated and where your sun is trying to shine emotionally. It's squaring against something in your identity or something that has been done. And now you're needing to take a look at that, okay? Now, just after that, we've got all that energy going. Chiron's in Aries, ruled by Mars. We've got the moon in Scorpio, also co-ruled by Mars. Then we've got Mars and Uranus coming together in a conjunction in the energy of Taurus. And this is big news. It's just big news. There's no other way to say it. So first of all, Mars being our planet of action is first of all uncomfortable in the vibration of Taurus because Mars wants to just be doing it. I'm doing it. I'm getting it done. We're going, right? And in Taurus is like, yeah, no, we are doing it, but like we're going to be doing it nice and slow. We're going to be doing it like this, and it's not all impulsive. No, we're not doing any of that, right? So it's a lot of heat that is kind of built up in an earthy energy is the way to kind of think about that and bring that into your body. What would that feel like to have all this heat and this container that does not want to just like go forward, right? We think of like Mars, think about this Martian fire in a lighter. You light it, the flame goes, we're living our best life. This is more like lava trapped in a mountain. Okay, so what does that feel like in your body? Because I want you to really breathe in what this energy feels like so that when you get to this week, you know how to handle it, okay? So we've got Mars in Taurus, uncomfortable already, but can be productive. And then we've got Uranus in Taurus, also uncomfortable. Uranus is electricity. It is movement. It is innovation. It is change, and it is quick change. Uranus comes someplace, and it is like the lightning bolt that gets you off the fence. If you've been on the fence about this, or a structure's been in place for too long and it's not actually productive anymore, Uranus comes to break it and to innovate it. So that what needs to be next, whether it be a rebuild from the teardown or just a change of direction, that's what Uranus does. Again, Taurus, not really interested in it. Taurus is a fixed energy. It's like, I'm doing what I'm doing and I like what I'm doing, even if I'm dying while doing it, right? So we get these two planets who are already their own set of fire and electricity. They are both uncomfortable in this Tauran energy that is earthy and it is fixed. So as they come together, this can be an explosion. Now, in a very practical, looking at the world kind of way, absolutely, it can literally just be an eruption or an explosion. It can be, and we cannot say that it's not. It can practically just be that. But in other ways, looking at it in our personal lives as well, this is breakdown energy. Something is going on. It needs to be changed. Mars and Uranus are both happy to change. They're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's get on with it. But Taurus is not happy. So the resistance to change is what creates the break. It's big. It can be rough. It just can be. But something in the Taurus area of your chart is looking to be changed massively. It needs a full-on restructuring, something you've been trying to do, an opportunity that you need to be getting on your way to, a pattern that you've been in that you've just maybe not been able to fully get out of, where you've been on the fence. Do I stay? Do I go? Patterns around money, around relationships, around your food, your diet, your eating, your relationship with your body. This has got an opportunity, I'm telling you, to be a little bit of a rough go on this day. So one of the things I want to tell you and I want us to be prepared for is, to the best of your ability, don't lose your cool. It's really important. I think it's really, really important that you don't lose your mind at this particular transit, because the implications of this day and this moment are big enough that what you say and what you do can have repercussions for years to come. Now, the interesting thing about this as well is that it is Uranian energy. So Uranus brings surprise. It brings sometimes something out of nowhere that you are presented with, right? And where this can be this awesome opportunity where you have a breakdown, something gets massively changed, and then it opens the doors for new opportunities, better behavior patterns, better existence in your relationship, a thriving in your relationship instead of an existing, better financial habits, right? It can absolutely go that way. And for so many people by the end of this week, I honestly think you find yourself in that position. But at the same time, it can be like you take an action or you say a thing or you make a decision, and it really impacts the rest of your life. And it's something that you can never take back. And what you say and what you do, it's like it ends it. And the interesting part about it, I think, is that in the days after Tuesday and heading towards the end of the week is when you know the implications of what you've done. Right? So this is why we come to astrology. We've got a little bit of time ahead. We're never going to know exactly what the surprise is. You can just know the area of your chart it's coming in. And as it presents yourself, this is where astrology is like the Olympics a little bit. Like the Olympians don't just show up to their sport and they're like, yeah, I swam a couple times and now I'm ready to go. They practiced, right? And in astrology, here we are. We're having a conversation about it. We're getting our practice and our knowledge in so that when you're in the heat of this transit in your life, you're a bit more prepared. You're not going to stop the surprise, but you can stop additional damage that's not actually necessary, okay? So again, things to think about in the arena of Taurus is there's things that have to do with relationships, that have to do with finance, have to do with food, have to do with your body, and have to do with your self-worth and your value. These are up for massive change as we're coming. Okay. So this is going to be our travel on Monday. That's huge, huge, huge energy. Now, as we get to Tuesday, first of all, I want to say that energy that we experienced on Monday will still be in play. Now, Mars and Uranus are going to, begin to, after the 15th, they're going to begin to separate from each other. It's called the separating aspect, but the energy is still absolutely there. And I don't believe that for everybody on Monday, because that's the day of the aspect, that whatever is going to happen, I don't think necessarily your breakdown absolutely happens that day. We've got a full week where this energy may be cooking on you, maybe in play in your life. This is lava going underneath the surface. And sometimes we just don't know it until it erupts, right? So, is the absolute moment going to be on Monday the 15th? Might not be for everybody, but this week definitely would be changeable, okay? All right, now when we get to Tuesday, we've still got that moon also traveling in Scorpio. So we're still in some of the depth and the intensity of ourselves. And we're going to spend the day with it all the way until we get to the evening. Now, when we get to about 7:20 p.m., and this is Mountain Time, so Colorado time, make sure you adjust your clocks to that particular time. Then the energy starts to lift a little bit from that Mars, Uranus, Moon and Scorpio vibration, and we move to the moon being in the vibration of Sagittarius. Now, first of all, what I do like about it is that it's like, okay, we lift up a little. We're not so much in the depth of that Scorpio vibration. It's a little bit more enthusiastic. It's definitely a little bit lighter. The fire comes on. We're like, okay, I have to live, because fire says I have to live, But also, when the moon moves into Sagittarius, I feel like this is a day, and over the next couple of days, you're going to go, okay, now I know, or now I see, or now I realize, maybe this is a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. It can kind of be this attitude instead of just being in like, this is the problem, or this is this thing. It's more expanded now. It's like, okay, here's what I was presented with, and now here's what I can do with it. Or here's how it's a bit more useful to me, and I can expand that and use that to get where I'm going next. And this is why I say this week, I think, sometimes we have to have a breakdown in order to get to the breakthrough. If you've been in a marriage and there's, no connection, no sex, no companionship, and you're like, listen, I'm trying to be out of Dodge, and what you needed was a breakdown in that relationship for it to start fresh, to get a particular conversation to the table so that you could have this restoration, this rebirth of where you would like that marriage to go next. This is an awesome opportunity. For some people, it's going to be like, yeah, no, I don't want to do this anymore. If it's something that's been in your finances, you're like, okay, I see the truth of what it is, and now I'm ready to go to the next level. And it's not always that there's been just this terrible set of circumstances. It's simply that something hasn't been working. And now when the moon's traveling through Sagittarius, it's like, okay, I've seen what was controlling me. I've seen what the power was. And now in Sagittarius, I can see where this can take me as a blessing into the next space. So I actually really like the vibration of Tuesday for all of us. Okay, we're going to have a very short, it looks like this is a really short void of course moon time that's going to be happening also on Tuesday. And it's just before the moon moves into Sagittarius, so I don't want to miss saying this, but at 7:10 p.m. to 7:20 p.m. is when we're going to have a void of course moon, and we may need it, you guys. We may really need it this week, soulmates. For that few minutes, put it down. Just put life down. Just put it down. Just surrender. Abandon to the universe for just a few minutes, whatever's going on, and rest. Let yourself be in rest, whatever that looks like for you, okay? And then that moon will move into Sagittarius. Now, when we get to Wednesday is not entirely exciting. We've got a little bit of Jupiter action going here, but this is nothing that I think is really big. Yeah, this is nothing to really write home and talk about. Wednesday, I would say be with everything that you've learned. Enjoy that moon that has been traveling through Sagittarius. Continue to explore the new truths that maybe you've learned or you know about yourself and where you can allow them to take you, mutable energy, transition you to where you need to go next. Because when we get into the saddle on Thursday, we've got the moon, yes, still traveling over here into Sagittarius, and that's fine. That's going to take us through the beginning portion of the day, but we also see the sun come into a sextile with Uranus. So we're back in the heat of a little bit of transiting energy. Now, as the sun, still in that Cancerian energy, is in a sextile to Uranus, who's just recently gotten down with Mars in Taurus, the sextile is a pocket of opportunity that we can intelligently take action with. It's different than a trine, because in a trine, the pocket of opportunity is there, and we may or may not do something with it. It's just easier energy. But in a sextile, we're usually in some kind of motion, taking action with it, okay? So the sun sextiling Uranus is so good because it's like, emotionally, I want to begin something new. Cancer, I want safety. I want security. I want to nurture. I want to protect. I want my emotional being, right, to be good. And in order to do that, I got to do some changing. In order to that, I've had some values, I've had some beliefs, I've had some behaviors, some habits, some relationships that have not been the best for me. Recently, Mars and Uranus have come together and kind of brushed you forward. Breakdown or breakthrough has presented itself. So now as the sun is in a sextile to Uranus, it is such a good day for breaking out of old patterns that are keeping your sun from shining. What is keeping you from your own emotional health? How do you amplify and share the beauty of the emotional health or your home, Cancer, that's really bringing a vitality into your life? So whatever has been a little bit stuck or has felt like the energy is not really moving around it in this way, the sun sextile Uranus is a gorgeous day to engage that. Now, I also think that it also is a good day for giving you new ideas about how to have the home that you want, sun in Cancer, have the emotional life that you want. It's a great day to have new people come into your life, go out and explore and see something new. Taurus, try on a different outfit and see if these are actually your new current colors, right? Whatever it is, it's a great day to kind of innovate how you've been doing you, I think is a good way to be able to say that. Okay, now we're also going to see on Thursday that Mercury comes into a trine with Chiron. And I love this because we're in this day where it's like, I'm trying new things. I've got new information because my life has had a breakdown or a breakthrough, and that's continuing to be revealed to me. And I see that I can do something different. I can have a different experience. And now that Mercury is trining Chiron, we've got this ease of access of information, of communication, right? So it's literally like your identity and your being and your mind are in the same place. I feel like it's like a knowing of thine self. To thine own self be true. is really what this represents. And so you're like, okay, I understand why doing this will actually heal my identity. I understand why taking this class would be healing and restoring to my identity, to my being, to my body. I understand why having this conversation or engaging these new people or engaging some new concepts would be healing to my being. So it's also a great day that I think reading, writing, journaling, listening to a new podcast or a new audiobook or something that is maybe you've been even flirting with it a little bit and you're like, okay, today is the day for investment. Maybe, how's your spiritual life? What's your relationship with prayer and meditation? This could be a great day to just have it be that beautiful, delicious innovation. Now you'll get an opportunity September 2nd to check back in on how what you're doing now is really impacting your life. So again, make a little note in your journal that, okay, listen, on July 18th, I was innovating. I was innovating my affirmation life. I was innovating and having different kind of conversations or letting different kind of information into my being. And how is it benefiting me in September? It's going to be a great check-in. Okay, Friday, early morning, we're going to see that the moon steps into, again, a very short void of course here. It's not too short, actually. It's going to be at 1:58 a.m. going all the way until 2:13 a.m. And that's, again, Mountain Time, Colorado time. The moon is void of course. Not the time to be starting any new projects, not the time to be whipping and zipping. Okay, put the whip and zip until later in the day. And sometimes it's funny. People will be like, Stormie, nobody is doing any whip and zipping at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. But we have a lot of emergency workers or overnight workers who are in our tribe. So sometimes they are awake. And if that's you, if you're like a dispatch person or you work in some kind of scenario like that, even mentally, if you can allow yourself to put down something that you're thinking about and just be very present in your moment for just this, just short of an hour, my God, just short of like 15 minutes. This is just a little gift. Okay. And then we're going to see the moon get into Capricorn. So on Friday, we are getting organized. We are getting it together. Emotionally, that moon comes into Capricorn and it is like, what do I need to do for me to get grounded, to get rooted, to get stable? What do I need to organize and put in place for me to be emotionally sure of what I'm doing? What kind of plans do I need to put in place? Where do I need to restructure something so that my focus is really good on building what I need to build? And I do think first and foremost, the question is in the moon, right? What do I need to build and reorganize and restructure so that emotionally I'm in alignment with where I need to be? I have a solid foundation underneath me to be emotionally mature and stable. And then I think that we can push this outward, honestly, like what do I need to reorganize in my house, my business, my relationship? Where do I need to look at, okay, this is actually the priority. Okay, I need to restructure this because I've had something else. My life blew up at the beginning of the week. I had a breakthrough at the beginning of the week. What do I need to restructure and prioritize in order for me to have solid ground underneath me and to continue to grow? And the thing I like also about the moon being in Capricorn is it's ruled by Saturn. So Saturn right now is traveling through the vibration of Pisces. Like spiritually, are you set? Are you structured in a way where your faith, your belief in yourself and service, your belief in switching seats from, being the victim to realizing where you've also been the assassin to things in your own life, this switch of position, this restructuring, even the understanding of these things can just like open the world for all of us to kind of root down and then really, really rise. I absolutely love that. Okay. Now, we're also going to see on Friday that Venus is in this beautiful trine to the North Node and in a sextile to the South Node. I like this connection for several reasons. First of all, Venus in a trine to the North Node is giving an ease of access. It's like, I see how to attract to me and what I'm trying to attract to me, Aries, and how to do it, right? How I'm going to do it. It's just this lovely, lovely, lovely trine. It's coming with ease. Okay, yes. But the sextile is where the action is actually at here with Venus. So this sextile over here to the south node in Libra is like, listen, you have already done this. You have already been here, Libra, in this relationship, in this connection, in this arrangement. And you needed to be. This was important. There was something in your story, south node, whether it is karma, soul contract, something in your story needed this connection. Let's recognize it. It's the question I think of, like, where have you been? Where have you been? Why did you go there? Why did you attract that into your life? Why was this valuable to you to call it to you? And where at that trine are you going, yeah, first of all, I see why this moment, this person, this situation was important to my life and my story. And I also see that I am ready to attract something else into my life because I don't hold that identity anymore. This contract is done, right? What a precious day. That is some precious energy riding over there. Now, one more thing to think about on Friday, just in general, is that the moon has transitioned into Capricorn. And it's coming past the position of our last full moon that happened June 21st of 2024 at 1 degree of Capricorn, okay? So that full moon was asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment to something. We needed to pivot with something we wanted to build, something we wanted to have in our lives long term, but we could not get it done. It's like it could not happen. If you have not watched my video on the tale of 3 moons, I really encourage you to go back and look at it because I go fully in depth of these 3 moons and how they're working together, okay? But I think it's important to note that on Friday, it's kind of like seeing a semblance. We've got Venus in this conversation of a soul story as well, and it's like, oh, I see it. It's like deja vu or jamais vu, a vu, okay? It's a vu. And you're like, I see. I was trying to move something forward. I was trying to have a different experience from the position of a soul story that's not actually mine anymore because I'm done with it, right? So I think that Friday is precious. Now, when we get into Saturday, we're going to see Mars come into a sextile with Neptune. I do like this energy. I think it's kind of fun. It's kind of creative. It is a day where I would tell you, trust your intuition, trust the intuition, trust the signs and the symbols that you see. You know, you see that flash of light come out of the corner of your eyes a few times. And it's like, yeah, maybe you just trust that that is your guide or that is guidance or it is your intuition showing up to help you. Now, I mean, like there are some things, obviously, we're not so woo-woo on this channel that it's like, yeah, well, if somebody says, you want to go have coffee with me and you can ride in the trunk of my car, it's not like, oh, I've always loved Cadillacs. No, like we're practical around here. So like, trust your intuition, trust your spirituality. The question that I've been asking a lot in this video is, what is your relationship with your spiritual life? What is your relationship with your intuition? Because if the relationship with your intuition is, I just have it and I think it's there, but there's not an actual practice with it, I think that Mars sextile Neptune is a great energy for actually bringing the practice of working with your intuition, bringing that creativity, painting a little something, dancing a little something, and just moving where the intuition wants to move. It's wonderful for volunteer work, for service, for looking at our lives and saying, whatever the breakdown or breakthrough this week has shown us, it's also going to be the question of, is the energy around your money, your relationships, your value, is it cyclical? Is there a portion where you're not just showing up to get and to keep, but also to be of service in some way? Are you in service to your marriage? Are you in service to your clients with the business that you're doing? Are you in service to your money? Or is it like the other side that can be very Neptunian as well? You're like, this feels like servitude. This is slavery. This is, because that's not fun. That's not fun, right? So this is also a great day to believe to believe that you can have a different experience if you'd like to, or you can have the experience that your intuition has been showing you all along. I will tell you, this was a few years ago. And I had been doing a lot of working out and in that phase of my life. And I had started to find some working out that really worked for me, physical workout, right? And I was in the gym one day and I was flashed back to a moment that I had when I was 12 years old, where I saw me in my outfit, comfortable and happy in my body, and I was standing in a room on a stage full of people. And I was shown that when I was 12 years old. And here I was in the gym being shown this moment, only to 2.5 months later be doing a presentation and have dropped into a deja vu. And it was the exact one that I was shown when I was 12. So this belief that, yes, I have been shown, or yes, I am being guided, and to trust it. It's a great day to put the actual action, Mars, behind that, okay? Now, just behind that, when we get to about 2:42 p.m., again, Mountain Time, Colorado time, we're going to see Mars leave that Taurus energy and get into Gemini. And I do feel like Mars is like, I'm free at last. I'm free at last, okay? Because Mars in Taurus is that like lava going under the earth. It's like, I really want to do things quickly and now, and I can't do it. But Mars gets into Gemini, and then we move into air. And so there's more movement. There's more availability of movement. I find that when Mars gets into Gemini, if you've been feeling like, I don't know, my body's just feeling heavy, my mind's feeling heavy, I'm just feeling weighty, Mars gets going in Gemini. So if you've been trying to lose a little bit of weight, gain a little bit of weight, or move in other ways, Mars in Gemini will probably be a much more comfortable experience for you. But this is an energy of, it's a double sign, a double energy, okay? So Gemini goes in two directions, which is also not Mars's favorite necessarily. Mars wants to pick one thing and go in that direction. So the thing to be mindful of when Mars gets into Gemini is that you can have Mars going in all sorts of different directions. So you kind of have to find the sweet spot in the middle of what you're doing until we get through September is kind of the vibe, okay? So first of all, anything that has to do with, your writing, your speaking, you're creating something that has to do with words and communication. I love Mars and Gemini for business. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. You can get so much business done. You can get so many things done when Mars is in Gemini. So you got to do those taxes. If you still haven't done your taxes, you need to get that paperwork done. You got to go to the passport office. You got to do the things for the kids. You got whatever. Mars and Gemini is a great time to get those things done, to physically be in action. You need to build an information system. You got to get your schedule together. Great time to do that. Reflections, journals, any of that kind of stuff, really, really good. The last thing you got to be mindful of when Mars is in Gemini is you can speak fire. So you just need to be mindful of that, okay? So that's very exciting. All right, now as we're going to end this week, we are going to be experiencing the full moon happening at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is going to be happening at 4:16 a.m. Mountain Time. Again, go back and watch my video, The Tale of Three Moons, because it really lays everything out. But this full moon happening here on Sunday is asking us to end something, acknowledge something, or to make an adjustment. We need to pivot in some way. It's illuminating for us, first of all, the celebration of something that you have done. You've done it. You've built something. You've become something. You've created something since January 21st of 2023. What did you start then? What were you starting? What were you calling in? What was changing in your world? Because this full moon is right there in conjunction with Pluto, that is at 1 degree of Aquarius. It's just out of sign conjunction, but it is still just right there. They're just a degree apart from each other. Excuse me, that Pluto is actually at 0 degrees. So it's just right there. They're hanging out together. So powerfully go back and think about not just for you in your personal life, but January of 2023, what was changing in the world. And that change that was also happening in the world, something was starting to die off or the vibration was shifting, made it so you had to change as well. Something larger had to change. And it was something in Capricorn. Was it something in your business that needed to change? Or is there something in the structure of your family that was changing? Is there something, did you have a whole different idea of the legacy that you want to leave in the world? Your ambition changed. What did the long range plans, goals, and designs, vision start to look like for you at that time? Now, maybe you couldn't really take full action on it, or you were like, I don't really know what this is exactly. But when we got to October of 2023, this is when you would have been in some kind of action with this full moon. You're doing things, you're tearing down things, people, places, and things are leaving your life so quickly that your eyelashes are blowing back and you're building something new, right? You're like, I have to let that go because I need to build something to go forward. And you did it. So first things first, at this full moon on Sunday, celebrate. Because you have come to a place, and everything that you've done, this is an opportunity to see it illuminated. But the question is now, not is what is the purpose of all of these things, but what is my goal? What do you want to build here? What is the long-term ambition or vision for yourself? And are you equipped to build it? Because you were trying in June, goodness help you, but it's like it just couldn't be done. We had another new moon that happened in Capricorn that emotionally blew some things out, got some things to the other side. Maybe you saw some emotional patterning and conditioning and you're like, I don't need that anymore. And now at this moon, you can appropriately make the pivot and build that damn thing. Go in that damn direction, right? It's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful energy. And at 29 degrees of Capricorn, you are loaded with the wisdom that you need to gather the things that you need to take action to build, okay? Just behind that, we're going to have a void of course moon that's going to be happening as well. And it's not entirely long either. It's from 5:26 a.m. going all the way till 5:42 a.m. So rest. It's a time to rest, to put it down. Don't think about it anymore. Let the fog slip past you. And then we'll see the moon enter into Aquarius to take us through the rest of the day. Now, when the moon jumps into that vibration of Aquarius, first of all, it's going to be coming in, right? Sitting at that conjunction with Pluto. So emotionally, I don't think that this is as intense as Pluto can always show up. I actually think this is really, really empowering because it's like, I've seen it. I've seen the change that needs to happen. I've seen the dying off that needs to happen, and I am ready for the rise. I am ready to rise. I am ready to innovate. I am ready to get rid of outdated, rigid, non-flexible thinking. I'm ready to detach, to allow some detachment, to realize I've cleaned up my side of the street. And if there's still something else going on out there, I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, and there's nothing for me to do about it. And I can detach from that just a little bit. I'm willing to have new groupings of people in my life. Now, I think we get some help with this as well, because we're going to see on Sunday that Venus comes into a sextile with Jupiter. So the benefics are talking to each other on Sunday. Love this energy. It's like, okay, listen, let's be doing some good stuff. So this is kind of that energy that I would say is a little bit of a blessing. Play with it, get in there, enjoy it. When the benefics are having a conversation with each other, it is a great time to celebrate. Almost celebrate the goodness, allow things to be easy, allow yourself to move with a bit of ease, but also to remember that when the benefics get together, sometimes something can be so good that it's too good. So I would just caution not being like too indulgent with this energy, but definitely go out. Go to a party, go be with friends, go do something social, go do something pleasant, enjoy opportunities for finances, Venus, to be coming your way and you're drawing them to you. Allow for some ease, expansion, and clarity to come your way, but you're just attracting it to you. You're not fighting for it. Okay, just behind that, we are going to see that Mercury is in a square to Uranus. Uranus has been a busy birdie this week. So I will say, this is an energy to pay attention to as well, because it's almost like the revelation of information. Okay, so something is just being disrupted, Mercury in information. Okay, so something you thought it was going this way, or it was going to go down like this, or something you maybe didn't even know presents itself, and you've got to kind of maneuver through that. And what I will just say with this particular information is be flexible. Just be flexible here. Be flexible, be easy. I wouldn't make the biggest decisions of your life once we get to Sunday night. Give some space for information to percolate just a little bit, and then you can make a decision. I think that will be smarter and in your better favor. We'll see the sun come into a trine with Neptune, highly creative, create things. Again, enjoy some of that good, easy energy. Trust your intuition. Go down the intuitive path. Be with something. I really want to make this decision. Is this right for me? And be with it. Let it sit, and then trust your intuition and your instincts to walk that thing forward. It is good too, I think, with Neptune retrograde, to look at if you have spiritual support. Or creative support. Okay. So are you a part of a group or something that helps you to continue to grow your creativity, or you share your creativity with them? Is it, are you part of a prayer group or a meditation group or a breathwork group, right? Where is there a bit of a grouping of energy that can be to your favor? Just behind that, and to finish out Sunday, we're going to see that Mars comes into a trine with Pluto. Again, an ease of energy. And I think we need this because it's it puts some of your get up and go back in the tank. It's focused, driven energy. You have the energy to go towards what you want. You have the energy to get something done. You're listen, I'm not doing it unless this is going to get me some results. And this is a results driven kind of energy. So what you need to do, what you need to get done, what you need to move towards, this is an absolutely wonderful energy as we close out the day on Sunday. And I'll just say this, the sun is going to be entering into the vibration of Leo, but that's not until Monday. So I'm not saying happy birthday, Leos, not just yet. All right, my absolutely beautiful friends, I love you. It is going to be a good week. We don't hide under rocks in fear of energy that is happening over here. And really, truly, if these energies are coming up and you're feeling afraid, one of the things I would really encourage you to do is to take your own inventory, right? What is going on? What are you afraid that you're going to lose? What are you afraid that you think you're not going to get that you think you need? What is it? And where do you ground into to become fearless? Where are you deriving your power from? Where do you feel safe and settled and protected no matter what is going on in the cosmos or coming into your life? That's a really great place to go as you're listening to these transits and to other things that are out there as well. All right, check the description box down below for more good things. I would love to see you in one-on-one sessions if you need a little bit of guidance. Have a gorgeous week, and I'll see you next week. Bye.